I would like to pass it on to Kelly and Ashton, who will help us understand the three windows theory before we get on to the next issues.
Thanks, Dylan, and thank you, trustees, for joining us tonight. My name is Kelly O'Quinn, and I support struggling kindergarten through fifth grade students through small group instruction. I joined One Houston because all students deserve high-quality education, and I believe that collectively we can change systems and policies to best support them. Before we dive into conversation with the trustees, we wanted to take a minute to give some context and framing to the conversation we had last week, and the conversation we want to have tonight as well. There are different theories and frameworks that help us understand advocacy, and one that we find really helpful is the three windows theory. Three windows theory is a way to strategize around advocating for change. There are three windows: problem, policy, and person. And we believe there's traction on advocating for change when all three of these windows are open. I'm going to pass it to my friend Ashton to share a little bit more about each of the three windows.
Thank you so much, Kelly, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight. My name is Ashton Millette, and I'm an 8th grade social studies teacher and coach at Winter Intermediate. I joined One Houston because I want to fight to make sure children receive the access to opportunities that they deserve. As Kelly said, we can create a strategy for real change once we open up all three windows in the three windows theory. The first window is the problem window. Now, this window opens up when we identify a problem that is widely recognized and deeply felt. We know a problem is widely recognized and deeply felt once we see it through things like social media, also in news headlines, or really just talking to different people. By opening up this window, we know we can get a decision maker to make this problem a true priority.
One obvious example of this is the problem we are continuing to discuss together tonight, COVID-19. It's definitely being widely and deeply felt, and it's being talked about by the media, on social media, and in casual conversations.
And then we have the second window. That second window is called the policy window. This window opens up once we identify a possible solution to the problem that we're feeling, which would then be called the policy. In the policy window, we also think about who may be for or against the policy or solution that we actually come up with.
One way we see this playing out right now is with food access for students who are not physically in school to receive food. As you've probably seen, and as we've discussed together last week, there have been a lot of decisions made about food distribution sites and what people need to bring with them or who needs to be present to receive food. These decisions are not made arbitrarily. Policies and government regulations determine what districts and schools are allowed to do or not do.
And then we have our third window. And then that third window is called the person window. In this window, we identify the person or the people who hold the power to solve the problem that we are working on. We learn about their roles and their responsibilities and how they can help us. This window opens up once we identify who the people in power are and what their interests and influences may be. And this is what we've been working on last week, this week, and going forward. #PowerMap.
Exactly, Ashton. So with this window, we'd think about who has authority over policy decisions and how we influence them. In keeping with the same example, would we need to talk to the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Agriculture or someone more local like state legislators or district nutrition departments? This framework allows us to do exactly that. Ensure all three windows are open, then conduct a power analysis or power map to make those decisions, then execute our personal and collective power to advocate for and create meaningful change. I also wanted to note that the three windows can be explored in any order when conducting a power analysis. We grounded ourselves in the three windows theory last week because it's a framework that can help us understand systems level leadership and change. And we hope you keep this theory in mind over the course of the evening and future conversations.